Run a diagnostic on your life. Are you moving, or are you just vibrating? Most men are trapped in a state of kinetic noise. In engineering, noise is wasted energy, vibration that produces zero work. You're busy, you're exhausted, you're stressed, and you're exactly where you started. You've mistaken the friction of your own anxiety for the momentum of a climb. This is the kinetic trap. It is the illusion of progress designed to keep the valley crowded. If you aren't gaining altitude, you are just a soft machine, burning out in neutral. To escape, you must stop doing and start ascending. You must trade frantic movement for a singular, iron direction. Why do you fail? It isn't a lack of talent. It is a lack of ballast. The world is a system of currents designed to pull you off course. We call it the drift. It is the social tide, the digital noise, and the internal fatigue that erodes your perimeter. Without weight, you are just flotsam. In a storm, the wind acts on the surface, but the weight, the ballast, acts against the water. Most people are all surface. They have no density, so they have no sovereignty. The drift doesn't ask for permission. It just takes. It takes your focus, your time, and eventually, your purpose and dream. If you don't drop the anchor and build your hull, you will spend your life as a passenger in a vessel you were meant to command. You aren't fighting the storm. You are fighting your own lack of density. Secure the perimeter. Find your weight. In navigation, there is a fundamental difference between your heading and your bearing. Your heading is where your nose is pointed right now. Your bearing is the absolute coordinate of your destination. Most men navigate by their heading. When the waves hit, their heading changes. They look at the problem and they turn. They look at the fear and they turn. They are zigzagging through life, losing distance every time the weather turns. To reach the summit, you must understand the law of bearing. A bearing is a fixed point that exists outside of your environment. It does not care about the fog. It does not care about the fatigue. It remains true even when the world is upside down. You do not check your heading when you are tired. You check your bearing. You ask one question: am I still on the line? If the answer is no, you adjust. You don't negotiate with the storm. You enforce the coordinate. The 2% don't follow a path. They follow a bearing. They create a line through the chaos and refuse to deviate. That is the architecture of progress. Most people fail because they operate on preferences. A preference is a mood. It's a nice to have, as long as the sun is shining. I prefer to work out. I prefer to be disciplined. Preferences are flotsam. They drift as soon as the pressure hits. If your goal changes because the weather is bad, you never had a goal. You had a mood. You don't need preferences. You need parameters. In engineering, a parameter is a non-negotiable limit, the absolute requirement for the machine to function. If the spec says the bolt must hold 10 tons, it doesn't matter if it's raining, it holds, or the structure fails. Turn your life into a set of iron parameters. Your discipline isn't a choice, it is a structural requirement. When the drift pulls, you don't ask if you feel like staying on course. You check the parameter, you hold the line, because the alternative is collapse. Trade your preferences for parameters. Stop being soft and start being capable. Most of you are failing because you have 10 priorities. In structural engineering, if a frame has too many primary load-bearing points, the stress is too distributed to hold under a storm. You are a ship with 10 anchors. You aren't secure, you're stuck. To find your one coordinate, you must apply the filter of elimination. Look at your list. If you could only achieve one result this year, One result that would make all other failures irrelevant. What is it? That is your primary load. Everything else is secondary. Everything else is noise. If it doesn't feed the one coordinate, it is a parasitic drain on your battery. It must be cut. A bearing isn't a wish list. It is a singular mathematical truth. Once you identify that one line of ascent, you lock it into your hull. You don't try to reach it. You exist only to achieve it. The climb is lonely because the weight is heavy. The valley is full of people who traded their bearing for a comfortable heading. They will never see what you are about to see. You've filtered the noise. You've locked the coordinate. Now, you finish the line. Stick to it until the ground beneath you is the highest point in the world. The view is reserved for the few who traded busy for iron. Lock the bearing, secure the ground, secure the perimeter, begin the climb. Stay on the line. This is the ascent signal.